I always say this, we truly are a community. We are a community of learners. It is not just the students that are learning. We're learning all the time as well. And I think because of that sense of community, there is respect on the students' part for the adults, but there's also a great deal of respect that we as teachers have for our students. And I think that that sort of fosters this great learning environment that we have at Chase.
You know, I went to a small school. My husband went to a very large school, high school. You know, there were 64 kids in my graduating class. And it is a community. You know, we grew up together, we know each other, we're much closer. So I think that you have the advantage of quality over quantity when you're in a smaller school system. And I think that you're more apt to take in the lessons of what it means to be a community. And it becomes a part of who you are, to understand what it means to respect someone and to see that in action in a smaller system. And to me, that means you're more likely to take those lessons out into the bigger world and actually use them.
Across the board, we have faculty here that specialize in their area of expertise. We have writers and artists and musicians, and we know a lot about what we teach.
When I'm talking to college representatives, one of the first things I have to say is when you're reading a Chase grant transcript, look at our grade distribution. We don't have grade inflation. So our students, they've never gotten an easy A. So they know that they are really learning something in order to achieve any level of success in the classroom.
Unfortunately, I think schools gauge, or parents gauge, how good a school is by how much homework there is or by how stressed a student is, and that sounds sick, but I think I've been at schools where that's been the case. If my student is happy, he must not be learning as much as the other kids, and I think that that's a ridiculous way to approach it.
I work with the students. I'm never sitting at my desk. I'm walking around helping the students individually so that I know today I could tell you which student is having trouble with division and which student is having trouble with subtraction in the same classroom, which one understands decimals to the 10th place, which understands decimals to the 100th place. In every individual classroom I can tell you the differences because I'm with the kids and I'm not just standing at the board telling them how to do it.
All I have to do is walk through the classrooms. I was just standing outside the Spanish class. All the students were standing on their chairs, their hands were up in the air, they were singing some Spanish song, I have no idea what it's about. They're having the time of their lives. I would bet that there would some people who would look in that classroom and say, yeah, that's not for me because they're not sitting down, rote filling out vocabulary sheets. Whereas if I look in that classroom, I see engagement, I see creativity, I see collaboration, and I see sharing, and most of all, I see acquisition of knowledge. And just because they're smiling and laughing and having a blast doesn't mean that they're not learning that.